All right, so picture this with me. I'm on my way to work, and then one of the managers calls and is like, hey, you actually don't have to come in today. I immediately get off the freeway and head straight home. For what? To pack to get on this hike. I initially had a plan for this hike to be on the following day with a really good friend of mine, but I had never done it. I really didn't know what to expect. It wasn't on All Trails, which is an app that you use to follow, kind of like Google Maps, but for like hikers. I was super familiar with Stoddard Peak, but never Stoddard Falls, and it went super viral. So I was able to do some research on TikTok. I know I needed my boots, I needed wet shoes, and I needed a wetsuit or like a bikini, because there is no way that there will be water and that I'm not getting in. So as you can see here, I am going down, and this is actually the top of the waterfall, which is what I discovered within like 5 minutes. From the videos I saw, people actually go into this little place and they slide off of the top of this down into what you're going to see right now. Let me get a little bit closer. And by the way, this part was a little bit sketchy, so please have both of your hands available to like kind of lean your body and your hands to the wall. Definitely recommend having hands free like at all times, because you need your hands in case you fall, you just land on your hands, you know. Now I'm going to show you a little glimpse of how loud the water actually was. This is the top of the waterfall. People sit on that edge and then slide down. And that right there is our destination. At this point, I was super confused on how to get there, but I just kept trusting my intuition and putting one foot in front of the other. Okay, let's talk about these flowers. You could smell them, like the scent was so strong, and the scent was a good scent. I don't know what they're called, but they were along majority of my trail while being on the top. And I just felt like I was like maybe like a fairy at that moment. If you look closely to my left, you see people going down, taking that shortcut. I did not feel like risking my life for the first time on this hike. I had to walk on this paved path for about a minute, and then I ran into the path and it was to my left. I went down and it was way more safe. I tried my best to keep my hands like I said, free of anything in case I were to slip. And here we are. We made it down to the river, and I came across this rock. This is when I made the decision that I actually need to go back and change. There was no other way. I had gotten a small glimpse of the water temperature sneaking into my boots, and I decided like, no, there's no way. I am gonna get soaking wet and it's gonna be my only clothes. So I decided to go back and change. Funny thing was that this sweater actually ended up getting wet. I put it in my backpack and it was dragging throughout the river. It was pretty funny because then I felt like the cold wet sleeves on my backside, and I couldn't figure out why I kept feeling that. So now I'm mentally preparing to get in all the way. And yes, it was freezing cold. Like, I just kept bracing myself for it, like the water level to get higher and higher. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. No. This water was so cold that it hurt. But look at this view. Who else lives for blue and turquoise water? I did have to hold my boots for the whole trail just because they did not fit in my backpack. So I had a realization that I needed to invest in a bigger, better backpack. I did get home with some bruises on my legs. I don't even know how it happened, but they are humongous. So I'm assuming just from like the pressure of the current pushing me onto the rocks caused them. And they're right by my knees, so it makes sense. Okay, this is where things got rocky. So these rocks were really unstable, so I would step on rocks and then they would like wiggle and move out of place, causing me to slip a lot. And also the current was also really strong. There were times where I thought the water would be shallow and it would be safe to step, but no, I was wrong. I would step and like it would go down to my hip. For me, this was the only part that was tricky. You needed to climb the rocks and cross by holding a rope. After this, you made it to the falls. It was so deep, I was scared to go more in. This is the healthy distance I kept because at times the waterfall would pull me in and in some ways put me under the water. The rocks were very, very unstable, and now looking back, I wish I had a life vest. Hey, don't judge your girl if you catch her with a paddleboard next time. If you pay close attention, this is a part where I was kind of getting pulled in by the current, and it had me like spinning in circles, so I was trying to reach for the rocks because I kind of got a little bit scared, you know? I consider myself a great swimmer. So with that being said, I do not recommend this hike or this area for kids. Please do not put your kids' lives at risk. So let's talk about what you need. I would say something to get wet in, a towel if you want. Wet shoes are 100% like needed, a necessity. Water shoes, not thin ones with more grip, please, because now if not, you're gonna mess up your feet. Some rocks are super sharp and they will pierce through your shoes. Since I went alone, I did not see the need of bringing food, and honestly, it wasn't needed. The hike was about a mile to get to the waterfall and then a mile to get back to my truck. I did the most happiest wet walk back to my truck. This felt really nostalgic because I used to solo hike back in the day, and I also felt really accomplished because now I had more knowledge to guide my friend for the next day. It was such a perfect day, half cloudy, half sunny, and the perfect scenery to drive back home to my husband.